Good morning, my dear students. So, today we will discuss the chapter The Fun They Had, written by Isaac Asimov from the book Beehive. Okay, so I'll try to explain this story through the help of this PowerPoint presentation so that it will be easy for you to understand. And at last, I also attach one video related to the story, The Fun They Had. You please watch it to have a more clear idea about the story. So this is PowerPoint presentations on The Fun They Had by Isaac Asimov, prepared by me. Okay. So now let's see the contents. Okay, this PPT includes learning objectives, pre-learning activities about the author, introduction of the chapter, and then characters of the story, and summary, and then theme, a glossary, and last the video of the fun they had. So now learning objectives. Okay, at the end of this presentations, what will you learn? The main aim of this presentation is to grasp the main idea and structure of the text, to enrich the vocabulary of the student and to use the same correctly, to understand the characterization and other elements of the story, to enable the student to understand the difficult words in the lesson, to enable the student about a variety of modern teaching aids. So this is pre-reading activities. Okay, I know that you have already done this in your classroom as a group, in a group. So again, you just try to remember it. Okay, number one is think and write three things that you like best about your school. Okay, and number two is think and write three things about your school that you like to change. And then, have you ever read word on a television or a computer screen? Okay, I can remember that most of you have said yes. And then next is, can you imagine a time when all books will be on computers and there will be no books printed on paper? So now this is let's see the introductions. Okay, introduction of the chapter The Fun They Had by Isaac Asimov. Okay, it is a science fiction. I have given you the meaning also. It's a literature in the form of prose, especially novels, okay, that describe imaginary events and people, okay, which is based on imagination. So it tells the story of two young children named Tommy and Margie. See, this is a very light story. It is set in the future. Okay, that is 2157. That means 137 years after. Okay, it is set in future. So this story is regarding a school life and how those children who do not got to school, miss school. The setting of a story, I told you, it is in future when perhaps there will be no school and no books. So now how those students will miss going to school and will feel that their ancestor, that is the present generation like you all, okay, had fun going to school, meeting and helping each other. Okay, at the end we come to know that this is an imagination of a young girl named Margie, who comes to know that their ancestor used to go to school, all the children used to study together. She also feels that they all had a lot of fun when they went to school. So when we read the story, we feel that school life is a very good, and we are fortunate that we have a real schools where we go meet friends and get a chance to study together. Okay, so before moving to the story, let's know about the author. Okay, Isaac Asimov. He was a Russian-born American author, professor of biochemistry, and a highly successful writer. And he is best known for his work of science fiction. Okay, and for his popular science book. So this is the image of the author Isaac Asimov. So now see this diagram, it is in your book also. Okay, so this is the features of future school. Okay, number one, you can see a boy sitting in front of the computer, and it is learning through computers, right? Like I told you that in future the author says that all the printed books will be replaced by a computer. So there will be, the students of the future will learn through computers. And a virtual classroom, okay, virtual classroom, which is a online mode of learning. Like right now you are also in a virtual classroom where you are learning through this video, okay, audio. So all this online mode like WhatsApp video conferencing, okay, this is a online learning mode. So it is a virtual classroom, so student of future will learn through online modes. So robotic teacher, so now the human teacher will be replaced by a robotic teacher, says Isaac Asimov in the story The Fun They Had. And the moving e-text, okay, as I already told you that the books will be replaced by a computer. So the student of the future will learn through computers with moving e-text. Okay, then Margie is of the same opinion, but she is very curious. Eh? Margie is very curious because it was very strange experience for these children when you have a book which is printed on paper, and whenever they flip the pages, okay, they get to see the same things written on the papers. On the other hand, an e-book, that text keeps on changing on the screen. The screen is the same, you have the same screen in front of you, but the text keeps on changing. So it was really a surprise for them. So the Tommy called it a waste, and Margie is of the same opinion, but she is very curious to know about the book. Okay, and then Margie is of the same opinion, but she is curious to know what the book is about. Tommy tells her that it is about the school. The book is about the school. And then Margie says that what is there to write about the school? I hate school. And now she hated it more because her mechanical teacher had been giving her test after test in geography, and she had been doing worse and worse. So that's why her mother sends Mrs. John, okay, sent for the county inspector, who is a round little man. Now county inspector takes the mechanical teacher apart and set it within an hour, which increased Margie's disappointment. Now the county inspector came to check the mechanical teacher. Okay, he was a round little man and he had a red face, and he was carrying a big box full of tools and dials and wires. Okay, and then so the man opened the mechanical teacher. He was there to repair the computer. So once he had opened the computer, Marges wished that he would be unable to close it back because she didn't like the computer. She did not like to study from this teacher, the mechanical teacher, but the man was an expert, and within an hour he had repaired the computer and had closed it and made it ready to teach Marges once again. So Marges gave a description of the computer. She feels that it is very huge. Okay, this is a description of his mechanical teacher. It is very huge, it is black in color, and she dislikes its appearance. It has a big screen and all the lessons appear on the screen, and many questions are asked on the same screen which are difficult for Margie. So Margie's hated this mechanical teacher the most because she had to submit her homework and test paper on it. So now then later on the county inspector informed Margie's mother that it was not the fault of a little girl, but the mechanical teacher, the geography sector was geared a little too quick, and now the county inspector, he had slowed it to an average 10 years level. So he also assured Margis and her mother that there will be no problem in future. So but now Margie was really curious to know about the school that they read in the real book. Okay, so the Tommy tells her that this is not their kind of school. So Margie was really curious that what is there to write about the school. It is just a big black screen. Okay, the mechanical teacher. So what is there to write about the school? So the Tommy informed that it is not their kind of school, but it is a old kind of a school that they had centuries ago. The student of that time used to had a human teacher who taught them and give them homework and also asked them questions. So Margis argued that a man cannot, how a man can be smart enough to children. So then again, the Tommy further tells her that those human teacher didn't live in the house like the mechanical teacher. They had a special building and all the kids went there. The kids of the same age learn the same thing. Now it is Margie's school time. So she goes to the school room which is next to her bedroom, and the mechanical teacher is on and waiting for her. She puts her homework in a slot with a shy. Okay, so here the Tommy, we can see the comparison between the future school and the present school. Okay, so in future school they used to have a school room just right next to their bedroom with a mechanical teacher which is black, ugly. Okay, a large big screen where they have to write their homework in a punch code and insert it through the slot. Whereas Tommy also says that the old kind of school, they used to have a human teacher where all the kids, there is a separate building which is known as school, and all the kids has to went there to study. So here you can see the comparison between the present school and the future school. So she is still thinking about the old school they had when the grandfather's grandfather was a little boy. All kids from the whole neighborhood came, laughing and shouting in the schoolyard, sitting together in the class schoolroom, going home together at the end of the day. So Marges really, feels that the school, that the their grandfather schools were more good than the school of the future. Okay, and she also says that those schools were far better than the school of today because they offer great fun to the students. So she says that the future school is the school you are having today, present. Okay, the school of a present is far more better than the school of the. So now let's see the theme of the story. Okay, so the theme of the story, the theme in the story, The Fun They Had by Isaac Asimov, is that of education, right? You saw that it is regarding the education, that is more specifically the narrative deals the future of education, which will become increasingly computerized and estranged from social interactions. Okay, the future school, the children has to sit at their own home. Okay, their classroom is just near their bedrooms with no humans. Okay, just a mechanical teacher, right, the big black ugly screen. Okay, and there will be no social interaction. The other message is one of warning against the danger of computerized homeschooling, which deprive children of the benefits of the personal interaction between student and teacher, which help them develop social skills. So now glossary, I have also give you this glossary, the difficult words and their meaning. You please go through the story thoroughly, okay? And if you have any confusion regarding the if you regarding the words, okay, you can also refer to this and try to understand it, okay? So now chapter the fun day, and so thank you so much.